Well, good morning. Today we read the exciting story in Ezekiel 37 of dry bones being showed to Ezekiel. The Lord showing him a field of dry bones and saying, Ezekiel, can these bones live? And God gives Ezekiel that challenge. And after all of the visions and things that Ezekiel has seen over the past chapters that unfolded, where God had prophesied that Israel, who had been taken captive, would one day become a nation again, Ezekiel says, God, I'm going to give that one back to you. Only you know if these bones can live. And the Lord says to Ezekiel, well, prophesy to them. Prophesy. Prophesy. And guess what happens? Obviously, if you've read the story and you know that what's going to happen is these bones that were dead become living. Life. Life. And not just life, but they become a mighty army. So what Ezekiel could see in the natural was death, but what the Lord said was life. Fast forward 1941 to 1945, dark, dark, dark time in the history of Jews. And 2/3 or 6 million Jews were wiped out completely, horribly, over the face of Europe, scattered, wiped out, population was down. And that was a very, very dark time. Only death, only bones. If you looked out and you thought about the Jews, it was sorrow. It was sorrow, and it was not anything that looked remotely like life or remotely like the fact that they could rise up and form a nation or become a mighty army. But what did the Lord do? What did he do? So the Holocaust ended in 1945. Just 3 years later, almost to the day, in May of 1948, Israel declared itself as a nation and a state. And it's so amazing to me that God took the worst, horrible genocide in history and turned that into a nation in 3 years, just 3 years. And not only a nation, but a nation that had a strong, mighty, and still has a mighty army. But what seems impossible in the natural is possible with God. And the vision that we have when we look out, whatever we see may just be a field of dryness and dry bones. But the Lord, if he says something, he will do it. And what he prophesies will come to pass. God sees a mighty army. We see dry bones. We see death. We see destruction. But the Lord sees an army. So I just want to encourage us with that today, that God's vision is so much higher, so much greater, and so much deeper than we can see. And so let's yield to the Lord and just say, God, I want to see what you see. And I want to prophesy over what you tell me to prophesy over to live. Because in him is life. And what he said, he will do.